Okay. See if I can. Oh man, too many windows, y'all. Way too many windows. Okay. There we are. Good evening, everyone. Time for some classic gaming, and I know I'm cheating a little bit because technically this is the Sonic Origins version, but I like the amenities it brings to the table, so we're gonna call it close enough. Uh, if you're perhaps joining me having watched yesterday's stream, I think I said I was going to do Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but I actually forgot Sonic CD was up first. Sonic 2 will be after this one. I love Sonic CD. I I think it's great, and I know it's sort of controversial. Seems like people kind of love it or hate it. But yeah, no, I love this one. I actually had this. I had a Sega CD, and I had this game, and played the heck out of it until, well, until I broke the disc. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. Yep, I know how to play this. Game volume's a little low. All right, thank you. Is that a little bit better for Palio? Supersonic flight. There we go. All right, cool. I love the US soundtrack, which is maybe even a more controversial take because I think it's what I grew up with. But we're gonna go ahead and do the Japanese soundtrack this time around. No better in game if it's too high. Yeah, yeah. Definitely let me know if it's too loud, too soft, and we can make the adjustment.
You can go again. Don't fall behind. Say don't be late. Destination heaven. Stay alive. Now you and me. We're going to have fun. Say, blast off. Excalibur. It's about that bar. What do you mean? Give and take. Going home. Time zone. Check it out, eh? Live alone. Leather legs. Getting in place. What do you get? Say, back jet. Zoom room. Cosmic zoom. That's up, Jay. It's Sonic Boom. Sonic Warrior. Sonic Warrior.
You always need a day. You got the power to save the day.
Take a little chance, slip on through. You got fun no matter what you do. You gotta do for you.
Sonic Warrior, Sonic Warrior. The power is in your mind to shake the planet, to conquer time. Sonic Warrior, deep in space and time. Sonic Warrior, whether in mind. Nothing can spy the way to stay alive. If we try, you can do anything. Sonic Warrior always takes a chance. Sonic Warrior never says he can. Nothing can spy the way to stay alive. If we try, you can do anything.
All right. Cool. Yeah, watching that video as a little kid, absolutely mind-blowing. Of course, the resolution was terrible garbage. But you know what? It's just too cool. I didn't care. So, let's talk some Sonic CD here. The game has a time travel mechanic that is very central to how it works, and you know, everything you do in it sort of wow, doing great here. Sort of bends around it. The idea here is that Robotnik's taken over this little planet here, which I think is actually called like Tiny Planet or Little Planet or something like that. Sort of a little big planet, you know what I'm saying? And the idea here is that he's gone into the past and he's taken over the planet, and so what you have to do is go back and forth through time and destroy the machine that's creating all the robots in the past. And if you successfully do that, you make a good future. And so ultimately, like, the good ending comes from you either everything's 3 acts, like it is in Sonic 1. So going through Act 1 and 2, creating a good future by destroying that, and doing that on all levels, you get the best ending. Or collecting all the time stones. There's no emeralds. There's no Chaos Emeralds in this one. So what just happened here is I got a signpost that let me go into the past. So this is the past for the level, and it has a similar but slightly different layout. So now I need to go find the robot creator. There's another thing here too, which is this. And in this is the game that introduces, I don't know if it's Mecha Sonic or Metal Sonic, but there's these little hologram projectors, and if you destroy these, the animals return too. And those are fun to do, but they're not necessarily necessary for, 100%ing the game. So now we need to go find the robot creation machine in this. No! I could feel that happening, and I'm like, no. Are you kidding me? But anyway, to get between the two, you need to get a signpost, and then you need to also accumulate enough speed for a long enough amount of time to get into the future or the past. I think it's like 5 seconds or something like that. It feels like an eternity sometimes, but... Oh, just had a heart attack there, chat. My headphones warned me that I'm almost out of battery. Hopefully they'll last long enough for this gaming session. There's the machine. It also destroys most of the robots in the stage, but not necessarily all of them. I want to get 50 rings here so that I can do the special stage. Something that's kind of fun about this, I feel, is that they had a lot of fun with the soundtrack because they had the ability to do CD quality sound, and each of the areas, the past, the present, and the future, all have a different soundtrack. Here we go. So, made a good future. Alright, here's our special stage. So, the goal here is to destroy these, I think they call them UFOs. Good job there. And we were given a certain amount of time to do it in. And it's kind of nice because they cleaned this up. I don't always like all the changes that they made to improve the Sonic Origins version, but in this one they gave it a much more stable frame rate, which was nice. It didn't run too poorly in the original, but definitely there's a significant and noticeable frame rate drop, so I keep not quite reaching it. They're on set paths. Usually the first level is not the one that gives me trouble. There we go. Feeling a little silly, but it happens, chat. There we go. Right. Well, this is going. I'm going to see if I can find a USB-C charger for my headphones. But I'm not lost here while we're playing. I hope this will do the thing. It's USB-C. Ow. Alright, chat. Technical difficulties, please stand by. Alright, hopefully this doesn't explode. Alright. Is that working? Can you still hear me, chat? It's a wall charger USB-C as opposed to a... like, my fear is that it ends up being like this very overpowered charge for these, but I think it'll be fine. You dumb thing. I also kind of like, and this is, you know, maybe a little silly, I kind of like that the robots in this one leave flowers behind when you destroy them. You'll notice as I'm playing this, when I start going at a certain speed, I get the sparks, which means that it's initiating the time travel. But if the little sign by my coins, where I would normally have my lives, but this is Sonic Origins, it's a little different. If that starts to flash, then if I lose speed while it's flashing, I lose it and I have to find a new signpost. So I don't want to do that. I want to get into the past so that I can rescue the future for this. Shoot that. See, that was what I did not want to do. Okay, we'll see if we can find another past. If we can't, it's not a huge deal, because I know there's more in here. And even if we mess up on one, it's not a big deal. You know, I want to get the quote-unquote good ending here, but if we don't get it, I'm not quite that obsessed with it. I know there's some good spots that are sort of a bounce back and forth where we can, here it is, in fact. This should shoot us into the past perfectly. And so that we see it, not just the third part of every zone in this is a boss fight, and it's usually a short stage, and it either takes place in the good future or the bad future, depending on what you've earned. And I don't want to just have that. See if we can... I'm not going to stress it either way, but I want to see if I can get us into the good future before we get to the very end. Now, I could have sworn that the machine was along the top path somewhere. I am not seeing it here. Kind of explore around. We'll backtrack a little bit and see if we're I'm just being silly and I'm missing it. There it is. Okay, so I wasn't entirely crazy. Oh, cool. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Even better. Well, let's see if we can get into the good future in stage 2 so that we can kind of see what it looks like here. Alright, we're at least into the present now. One thing I've noticed that I don't like is that you lose your shield when you time travel. There's something I'm not sure if I ever really noticed before. It's kind of dumb. That's a feature I don't care for. That's another past one. I sort of appreciate, like, that there's tile sets and music and, here we go, future. For all of these, like, they really put a lot of love into every little zone in this, and I kind of appreciate that. And again, I know this is sort of a controversial game in the Sonic 16-bit oeuvre. Nope, we're not doing that. Oh, close. But I really do feel like they put a lot of effort into it, and I really appreciate it. So this is the good feature. You can definitely hear that they did a little bit of difference with the music. Everyone has like a... I'm not a music person, so I would probably fail with the terminology here. But each of them has a sort of an underlying theme that's played with, and the bad feature likewise also does. But we're going to probably try to avoid the bad features mostly. Yeah, I actually had this game, like the original Sega CD version and the Sega CD, and I played it quite a bit growing up, and enjoyed the heck out of it. But I had a friend who had an N64, and occasionally he liked to borrow my Sega CD for the weekend, and I would borrow his N64, so I'd play Mario 64, and he'd play this and Sewer Shark, which is a really goofy game that I kind of love. Which maybe I should try playing that sometime if I ever get a capture device, because I do have it on the Genesis Mini 2. But I digress. Anyway, so he would do that, and one time he returned it back, and it was fine. And he had borrowed Sonic CD, and he had forgotten it at home. I'm like, oh, that's okay, just bring it another day. It's not a big deal. So he brought it, but he didn't have the case for it. And he's like, I can lend you a case. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll just be really careful. Chat, I was not careful, and I snapped my CD, and I felt devastated. I love this game, and so for years I still probably have the broken disc somewhere. Just kind of was not getting a chance to play this game that I love, and I think eventually I ended up off of Amazon buying a new copy of it. New being used, really, but so I do have a working copy. But then digital downloads became a thing, and yeah. Yeah, it's not hard to play this game anymore. Loading times are a lot better too with digital download. But I should emphasize, the fault is mine, not my friend's. He did try to do the right thing and tried to make sure I didn't do something stupid, and then I proceeded to do something stupid. Also, here we go. It's the first appearance of Amy in a Sonic game. Whole bunch of little hearts flying off of her. And Mecha Sonic steals her and runs off with her. I kind of love the little intro that they added to this. The one where Amy has a tarot deck that she's playing with. That was a cute little addition. So, you know, you've heard me gush in the past chat about parallax scrolling. I love that in this place, Collision Chaos, there's a ceiling to this world. In this, like... Because there we go. That is wild, and it kind of like... It's like this weird little simple thing, but as like a kid especially, like, I'm just sort of fascinated. I was fascinated, like, why does this world have like effectively sort of this ceiling? You know? Some of these touches, the designs, the color palette in this is really beautiful. You know. And definitely I'm kind of like, you know, repping this game that I love, because like I said, I know a lot of people don't care for it, and I think they kind of give it a little bit of an unfair unfair dislike of it. I had someone even point out, some YouTuber I was watching, that in the Sonic Mania intro where they show Sonic like 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles, they actually leave CD off of their little thing. So, like, Sega even knows that no one likes this game, which I feel so unfair. Kind of digging this, the past soundtrack in this. But yeah, like I said, I kind of more familiar with the, English soundtrack, or not, I shouldn't say English, because Europe actually got the, there we go. Europe got the Japanese soundtrack as well, but in America we got a different soundtrack because I guess they thought that the Japanese soundtrack wasn't good enough. And so they reworked all of the present, good and bad future music, and then a bunch of stuff like the special, like the invincibility music and the special stage music, boss music, stuff like that. And I don't know if I fully understand the reason for why they didn't do the past, but I think I heard that it was saved in like a different format or something, and it was not as easy to rewrite, overwrite it kind of thing, but I don't know for sure. So like this theme, despite the fact that I'm like not familiar with the present and the future, this one I know, because this was carried over between the two versions. Alright. I know I'm coming up to the end, and I feel like I'm really close, or I shouldn't say feel, I know I'm really close to having my requisite 50 rings. Here we go. You know what? Let's do this. Shoot. Had the opportunity to do that, and I lost my chance to go into the future, but I guess I don't need it now, because I have my 59 rings. And the joke's going to be on me, and I'm going to have misremembered, and there's a lot of more of the level left. I also like these little floating platforms. Like, it feels like there's a lot of love into the design, and kind of the weirdness of this. Since I'm gushing out fun Sonic facts, the next one that I'll tell you is that the levels in here are all supposed to sort of be a remake, maybe spiritual remake anyway, of the Sonic 1 levels. And this is supposed to be a rework. Obviously the first one is a rework of Green Hill, but this is supposed to be a remake of the third level, Spring Yard, there was a cut area that was supposed to be there for Marble Zone or whatever it's called, the second one in Sonic 1, and that one never saw the light of day. Right, so I can't remember if I mentioned it, but you're supposed to really stay out of the water in this stage, because that sucks your time away, and I'm not necessarily doing a great job of that. Of course, once you've beaten it, it's not really, it doesn't matter if you stand in the water, but... Also, speaking of backgrounds, the backgrounds in the special stages are really cool. They're like, they feel like they're their own worlds onto themselves, and I love this game. I really do. I think Sonic CD is great, guys. If you can't tell, haven't been able to figure it out, I love this one. I like the neon signs, and it's a neat place. All these have a feel to them, and even though it's sort of, I think they sort of ran, I think originally what they were kind of going for was a remake of Sonic 1, and then it sort of morphed into it's not really a remake, but, you know, those levels sort of flow into each other a little bit. But yeah, I like how this turned out. But we'll see more of that sort of, I don't know, maybe synergy between Sonic 1 and this one as we go further into it. And there's some that don't have an analog, would that be the right term, an analog? They don't have a representation from Sonic 1, they're their own thing, but I'll point them out as I know them, at least, as we go a little further. I kind of want to stay out of the bad future if I can. I think we can find one for the past here pretty soon. We might end up finding ourselves in the bad future, in which case, you know, good way to just show it off, but again, if I can avoid it, I'm not gonna go to it intentionally. More fun Sonic facts. So this has a time travel theme, and it was in development at the same time that Sonic 2 was in development. And originally Sonic 2 apparently had a time travel theme. I'm just finding all these future ones. I don't want any of them. Where's any of my past signposts? Oh no. No, 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 no. Glass breaking noises. A little bit of casino night in this too, it feels like. Okay, there's a past signpost, but oh man. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get back up there. Another future one. Come on, game. Really. Really does not want me to go into the past. But here we go. Now I just gotta find a good spot to make the transition. Oh no! I didn't even see that guy. Oh. Ooh. Alright, here we go. This should work. Do. Right now, the question is, can I actually find my way to the... You know what I'm going to call it, because I don't know what its official name is. We're just going to call it a roboticizer, because, again, I grew up with the US Sonic the Hedgehog, oeuvre, and lore, so it's a roboticizer. If someone wants to correct me, they can tell me that I'm wrong, and I'll use the appropriate name. Usually, like I said, it's on the upper path. So we're kind of going to seek for it along the upper routes. There it is. Oh, my heavens, you silly thing. Oh, no, don't do that. Come on. Seriously. Oh, ooh. No. There we go. Wanted to cancel that out now that I finally found it. Oh, I don't like this. There. What a goober. Okay, so if I follow this, in theory, I think I can find my way to the roboticizer. But let's get some new rings. Success. Look at that. Made a good future. Been wasting a lot of time here, which is fine, but see if I can make it worth it. Get a few more rings so that we can jump into the special stage at the end. I'm not getting much speed on this one. Let's try this. So something they added in Sonic CD is they added this, it's called the Super Peel Out or something like that, which you've probably seen me do a couple times. It has an advantage over the Spin Dash, which was also in the game. The Spin Dash makes you relatively safe because it, you know, enters Sonic into a state where he can do damage to enemies. But it also is not quite as fast as the Peel Out. We're running out of time, so we're gonna try to go this way and pick up some rings on the way. There we go. Hopefully I don't get hit by the very copious amount of spikes in this stage. Oh boy, that was close. And I lost my train of thought, chat. It's alright. I'm sure it wasn't anything important. Almost never is. No! No! Oh! Alright. I don't think I'm gonna have enough rings if I don't figure something out. Okay. I also like how a lot of the kind of obstacles in the stage are in an incomplete sort of set, because, like, you know, the world changes over time, and so, like, these... Oops. There we go. Like, these platforms here aren't rotating yet because they haven't been fully, you know, constructed, I suppose, set up. Right, so we're running low on time, but we're going to try to go to the future so that we have more rings to work with. See if we can get those last 30 before we get to the end. It's not a huge deal if I get a time over. Like, I've got... In, you know, Sonic Origins, we have this... Oh, hey, you know what we should do? Oh. We have these coins, which effectively take the place of lives, so I have 72 lives. You know, it's not a big deal if I get a time over, and it'll just set me back to the beginning of the level. Let's check out the future since we're here anyway. But it would be nice, like, I don't want to start over at the beginning of the stage either. Ah, check out this cool place. So 31 rings, that's pretty good. We got a minute and 12 seconds or so. Yeah, we can probably do it, chat. I think we can do it. You can see my time is flashing. Oops, oops, oops. No, don't do that. Don't do that. "40 seconds, chat. Can he do it?" Okay, once I cross that, I cannot go back. Oh, I might be in trouble. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, clutch. Look at that. Yeah, like, talking to these worlds unto themselves in the special stages. Look at this! Like, it's just like a whole little world. Like, there's a castle. Like, this is so... I love the designs. This is so cool. It's so clever. And, again, kind of growing up with, like, the American Sonic canon. Like, the whole, like, Planet Mobius thing, and... Like, I always, like, looked at this and, like, wonders, like, is this a nod to, like, the comics and, like, the Mobius capital sort of thing? Which, it's not, but, you know, 10-year-old, 11-year-old me always wondered. Alright, this boss sucks. Hopefully it will not take me a million years to go through it. I think I talked about it before too, but I kind of love the palettes. Like, this one's a little bit potentially hard on the eyes, but I think the Sega CD had a higher, well, that was fun. Had a bigger palette than the Sega Genesis did. And so, like, I appreciate that they're using the range here because it looks, it's so colorful. Does it work? You know, maybe. I appreciate that it looks so vibrant. Oh, you little goober. You goofy goober, you. Yeah. Chat, usually I either get this one on the, like, right out of the gate, or I have a devil of a time, and we're just gonna see where we land, but so far it's starting to look like it's gonna be one of those not great times trying to get through this. We got 9 minutes. I think we'll be fine. Oops, 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 man. And Propelio, I see that you said something and I apologize. I'll check it out as soon as I'm done with this. Come on. Really? There we go. Got him. Okay. Yeah, the colors on the stage are a little bit... They're very intense. But I do appreciate that they're using the expanded palette. But yeah. Alright, so Tidal Tempest. You know, if you watched me do Sonic 1 the other day, probably reminds you a little bit of Labyrinth Zone. I really kind of love the sound in this one. This is so chill. There's a past signpost, but haha, I blew right past it. I've been studying color theory. I'm terrible at it. This stage seems like it might be going against the recommended advice I've heard. You can, of course, break the rules in anything. The important thing is to know when to break the rules and why you are. Yeah, no, exactly. And, you know, this may not be the best use of color theory. You know, you might be really right about that. But I think you're right, too. You know, if you're breaking the rules and you know why you're doing it. I made a mistake going this way, chat. You know, you can definitely come to some interesting results. And, you know, whether this works or not, I don't know. But like this I think definitely works. You know, I think it does anyway. This stage looks pretty great. And I think a lot of them work, even if not all of them are perfect. Level's palette isn't bad, yeah. Yeah, right? Not too shabby, eh? Not too bad, Grommet. Alright. Oh, I think this was a bad plan to go this way, that's alright. And one thing I appreciate about this is that the music does not stop if you get into the, stage where you're running out of air. You can still enjoy the pretty good soundtrack, I would say. And you do get the warning numbers, but it doesn't halt and then restart the soundtrack or the stage music from the beginning, which I appreciate. The problem with the previous one, in your opinion, is highly saturated. Yes, yeah, very high saturation. It can be a little intense. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I wonder if part of that comes from by the roboticizer. I believe it's right there. Yeah. So we need to go find ourselves a past post. I think some of it's probably... Oh, you... Oh, absolute goober. It's that, you know, being given the tools to do a kind of expanded palette. Sometimes people go a little overboard, you know? No, I would agree. I think it's, you know, that saturation's a little too hard. There we go. There was my timer. Okay, I know there's got to be a way into the past around here somewhere. These lobsters, though, man. Yikes. Yeah, there we go. I also like how the flowers in this are really jagged up there. Sorry. Timer. I didn't mention it when I was playing through Sonic 1, but the little ripple effect underwater is really cool, I feel. Oh, I think chat, I don't like that I went this way. Okay, I gotta go find a past signpost. We've seen at least one. And normally the game's doesn't seem like it's trying to hide them from you. I'm not sure why I'm having such a hard time finding one. You'd think as much as I played it, I'd probably have them all memorized by now, but often I don't, because, like I said, I don't usually have quite this much trouble finding one. I'm not sure why I'm having such bad luck. I know there was that one back there, but I don't know how to get to it. And I know there's one on the upper path, but I wasn't having much luck finding it either. Yeah, okay, I gotta get it. Let's get some air. I get it, Sonic. There we go. Happy. Got you. Sorry, that guy was really driving me nuts. No, shoot, chat. Where am I missing it? Oh, running out of air again. Well, this could be bad. Oh, look at me. Oh, I'll take it. That was kind of silly, chat, wasn't it? Let's go see if we can find... You know what? I'm going to stick around for some air because I think I'm getting close. Yeah, I was. That was a good idea. There we go. Let's see if we can find that. Those two red bumpers. Let's get some more air real quick. Come on. May I have a big bubble, please? Did I go too far back? Went too far back, didn't I? Yes, I did. Running out of time again. I thought Sonic games were supposed to be fast. Not when Poe plays them. This is the leisurely playthrough of Sonic the Hedgehog. Speedrunner I am not. Okay, chat, I feel like I've gotten a little lost. Did I go too far? I have to, like, backtrack a little bit more? I probably do. That's okay. Okay, so it's not gonna, that's gonna be a bad choice to go. Let's go this way, and this is gonna shoot me up here. And then I'll go this way, and I'll go back a little bit. I want to go quite too... Oh, there we go. That's where I was trying to get to. Woohoo! I kind of love how in this, it's, you know, this big, you know, deep cave kind of motif going on. Goodbye, little water skimmer bot. And I think the water level is lower in the past as well, which is really cool. There we go. So I need a couple more. The astute viewer will notice I need a couple more rings before I continue on. I'm gonna run out of air if I'm not careful. There we go. Okay, so that's enough rings, isn't it? Let's head towards the... Head for the exit. That's a reference to Beetle Adventure Racing, which is one of the best N64 racers of all time, and I will die on that hill. Absolutely love that game. And of all the games that I wish would show up on the Switch Virtual Console, but I know will never because of the licensing involved, I wish that one would show up. I love that game. It's so good. I also really wish that Mystical Ninja starring Goemon would show up on the N64 Virtual Console, but I don't know if that'll happen either. That one I think is more likely though, because Nintendo and Konami have definitely come to agreements with their properties, so like I don't think that one's impossible, but I think there's some sort of cultural sensitivity stuff that I don't know that Nintendo would allow these days, which is fair, you know, I don't want to necessarily like, I'm not advocating for censorship. I appreciate what WB has done with like some of their old Looney Tunes stuff that's obviously like not culturally sensitive, where they put warnings like, hey, you know, we shouldn't censor this because we don't want to deny what's happened in the past, but realize that this was, you know, not okay then, it's not okay now, but we don't want to pretend that it didn't happen. And I feel like that would be something they'd have to do with going on. And Nintendo, I think, doesn't necessarily shy away. They're more from the, I feel like, let's censor it and pretend it didn't happen. F-Zero, yes, it does a little bit of that sort of feel, does it not? Okay, chat, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so there's, once you get under 20 or 30 seconds, a time bot will show up, so we took advantage of that. But hey, guess what? That was the last one. We're all set. Cool. Also, hi Serene, glad that you're back. Thanks for dropping in. This is a cool backdrop too. I would say, like, all of these special stages have really neat backdrops. Sonic standing in the void, exactly. I think I only have, is there 7? There might be 7 time stones, I can't quite remember. No, I thought there were 6, but now I'm starting to question that. But anyway, not that, I think of the, you know, censorship sort of issue and cultural sensitivity, usually Nintendo's response is more of a, let's just pretend it didn't happen, which I don't necessarily appreciate, but at the same time, you know, I still feel like that's, you know, maybe a better way to deal with it than just putting it out without any sort of warning. So again, I love that game. I understand that it has some problems, and I really do hope that it comes out in some form eventually again. But, yeah, it's unfortunate in the first place that it, chose to do some of the things it did. When will you get all the time? When you get all the time stones, do you get to go full-time Sonic? You do. He gets a big clock, like, is it Flavor Flav? Is that the guy who wears the clock on his? Yeah, that's what Time Sonic looks like. No, there is no Supersonic or equivalent in this one, for better or for worse. So I think Supersonic was first introduced in 2, which I don't remember if this came out first or if 2 came out first. Sonic looks fly as heck. What do the Time Stones do? The Time Stones make it so that you are guaranteed the good ending, and you do not have to find all the roboticizers in every level. So I definitely want to get them because I don't like finding them in every level. And I'm also something that I really like in this. If you noticed, there's fish as animals that show up. I thought that was kind of a cute little thing that they added to this one. Yeah, no, they just guarantee the good ending, good future in every stage, so. I think the roboticizers along the top, this top row here, will kind of creep along and see if we can spot it. You know what, in fact, is it up there? If it is up there, how do I get up? No, here it is. Yeah, got it. And we have enough rings, so we'll continue on. Oh no, I didn't even notice I was going down. Oh man. Interesting music for a Sonic game. Yeah, I like it. And imperfect Sonic game. I don't want to make it sound like this is, the best of all of them. But I like a lot of the choices. And again, since it was originally on a CD, they, pre-recorded all the music. It's not going through the Genesis sound processor. So that gave them a lot of stuff to work with. And there were a lot of games that had like a dual release on the Sega CD and the Genesis. And so you got sort of this mix depending on the game as to like whether or not it would get, or rather, let me back that up. With the dual release, one had the Genesis sound processor and one of them had pre-recorded CD quality music. And I would say not in all cases do I like the CD recorded or CD quality music. A big case in point is I love Echo the Dolphin. I think those are great games. I especially love 2 because I can actually beat 2, and I cannot beat 1. We'll go. Okay. I especially like Echo 2 because I can actually beat Echo 2, and I cannot beat Echo 1. I'm not good enough at it. Okay, it was already destroyed. I wanted to double check. Alright, we'll be a little more careful this time. I don't like the Echo on Sega CD soundtrack. It's interesting, I'll give it that, but I'm not a big fan of it. I love the Genesis version of the sound on that. So, kind of some it's really good, some it's okay. How's this for a backdrop? This might be the first one I have to do a retry on because I I'm already feeling like this is a bad start. Yeah, I'm not doing so good. Oops, 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 no! Man, I was doing so good on these special stages, chat. I was impressing myself, and now you're seeing the truth. This is my normal ability to play through these dumb things. Oh, are you kidding? Oh, this is, yep. Oh, clutch! Look at that. I still have a feeling I have to restart this one. No, this is not going well. Can't wait till you get to Wacky Workbench. Yeah, no, that's a fun. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I knew I was gonna do it. Wacky Workbench is a wild level, and also, welcome in. Oof, yeah. It's not my favorite stage. I like sort of the gimmick of it though. I think part of it, my mixed feelings come from the fact that, like, you know, like I said, well, you might not have heard me say this earlier. I played this a lot as a kid. I always was terrible at that stage, so it sort of colored my feelings about it. But more as an adult, I do appreciate it a lot more. But I can't quite get rid of the sting from being a kid and getting bumped around by the bouncy floor and all of, like, the electro, I don't know, chains or whatever that are everywhere. I think, I mean, it might be a little cliche, but I think my favorite stage is probably Stardust Speedway. I think a lot of people like that one. But I actually like Quartz Quadrant as well, quite a bit. And I'm running out of time again. Ooh, that wasn't quite good. There we go. Hopefully that affords me just enough. Hopefully I don't mess this up too badly. I'm hoping I can get it without too many failures on this. They definitely get harder at a certain point, because the UFOs start moving more erratically. Oh, that's not good, chat. Alright, we'll restart. Another reason that it's nice that we're playing on Sonic Origins. I can just trade in one of my 74 coins. Hopefully it won't take that many tries. Yeah. Oh, come on. They move more erratically, but they do move in a pattern. So if I get impatient, what I need to remind myself is if I kind of, like, hang out on the bumper, they'll come back around. Ugh. It's not going well. Let's see if we can make it. And Sebastian, forgive me. I will read that as soon as I hopefully beat this time around. That's a little bit better. I actually like the little air vents. Oh, no, no, no. Not so great. Okay. How do you switch soundtracks in Sonic CD from Japan to US? It's in Sonic Origins. Once you start up Sonic CD, it's like when you're actually in the game itself, not in the game select overview menu. It's in the settings, I think, if I remember correctly. It's either settings or it's sound. From Sonic CD's title screen menu, specifically. In the original, you only had whatever version you had, so there wasn't both soundtracks included, which is why I sort of have an affinity for the US one, again, because it's what I grew up with, but I thought it'd be fun to do the Japanese one, because I don't listen to it quite as often. Okay, so that wasn't terrible. I'm gonna wait for the time UFO to pop back in, and then I'll grab it. And this is where I was gonna say this is where I really mess it up. Oh, come on. Yes! Success! Alright. Whew. That was, what, 3 tries? That wasn't too bad. For Palio talking about the, like, super saturation, that sky was a little much. Bot acting kind of sus, yeah. Alright, here we go. The good future. It's very pink. I think that background unlocked new colors for me. Yeah. Alright. One of the many criticisms I've heard leveled against CD is the bosses, too. I actually think some of the boss designs are kind of clever. I like that this one, you know, reminiscent of Labyrinth, where you're chasing Robotnik down. In this one, you get him, there we go, down to one single hit. And then for the rest of the boss fight, you just have to hit him one more time. But I think this is sort of a clever idea for a boss. Oh, and there I go. Hit right out of the gate. Titled Tempest Good Future's always been my brother's most hated zones. Just because of the color palette and design. I actually kind of like the way it looks underwater for what it's worth. I like this kind of green tint with sort of the aquatic plants. I think that's a clever design. But that pink is kind of an aggressive pink. So I can definitely, like, appreciate not caring for it. If that's the reason. I'm not sure if that's the reason. I also like Robotnik's face here in his little capsule. He just looks grumpy as heck. But being a plant guy, I do appreciate all the, like, kind of aquatic plants everywhere. And rescuing flowers from the end capsule, whatever you want to call that. Alright, Quartz Quadrant. I like this level. I think this is a fun one. This is probably my second favorite. And I don't think this one is based off of any levels in Sonic 1. Here we go. Color palette on this one overall is pretty cool. Yeah, right? Alright, here we go. This is going to be my little cheat way to get to the past. And where it was like sort of a mine caving sort of, or a cave with a mining operation. Goodness gracious, chat. What time is it? Getting tired. Here it's sort of like... Alright. Let's... There we go. Oh, that was splendid. There we go. I remembered where that one was. In this one, you can see it's more like an open air, like very kind of natural space. It's not being mined out. Like all these tree stumps floating in the water. And I like this music quite a bit too, to be honest. And with like the crystals floating in the water. I love the way that looks. Okay, so I think this is the last time crystal. Hopefully I can get it in a reasonable amount of time. This is another backdrop I really like. Kind of the ziggurat in the background and the floating planet. I love it. Oh, come on, really? And the hyper pink water. Come on. We can do this. Well, maybe I can't do it. Well, this is going great. Okay. You know, when the very first UFO you go for and actually get is the time one, it's something, we've lost the plot, Chad. Things have gone very awry. The rainbow could have unlocked your potential. Could have, didn't. Alright, there we go. Hey, look, I got one. 5 more to go. Yay. Oh, God. Via lobotomy. Exactly. Via your eyes bleeding. Oh, no, 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 no. That, okay, that was... Oh, that was poorly done. Oh, that was poorly done. No! Oh, no! Alright, that's alright, Jeff. We can keep trying. So you didn't have the ability to do that retry in the original, which probably makes sense, you know? Yeah? Okay. And, so I remember replaying the second to last stage on the final level, trying to get my 50 rings, and trying over and over and over again as a kid to get this effectively kind of, you know, in one go, and being so proud of myself when I finally got it. It was tough. I do like some of really appreciate the amenities of Sonic Origins. And, you know, so next Saturday night's going to be Sonic 2. That's the plan anyway. And you are going to see me really stink at special stages because I am atrocious at the Sonic 2 special stages. Just absolute nightmare fuel for me. Huh? Hey, look at that. That wasn't too bad. Second try. I'll take it. Got them all. Alright, cool. Yeah, no, so what you'll probably see for the rest of this is I'm not going to go into the past. I'm not going to get the roboticizer anymore. I'm just going to kind of play through it and have fun. Sonic 2 special stages are kind of unfair, at least compared to the classic Sonic special stages in 1, 3, CD, and 3D Blast. All significantly more doable. Propalio, 100% agree. Oh yeah, no, 2s are, for me, very difficult. I think CDs, so, okay. I think Sonic 1s are pretty easy once you kind of know where things are. I don't like the Sonic Origins version because I think probably heard me complain last week. They feel slimy in a way that I don't really know how to put into words. Like, it's like you're running on... It's like all the surfaces are ice, which is really frustrating. So I don't really like what the changes that they made there. This one's not too bad, but the last couple can be kind of rough. Oh, well, poo. I was really hoping to get into the future. Now that we're guaranteed the good future every time. Oh well. Well, you know, whatever. we'll just continue on, I suppose. But those last two are really tough, I feel, with CD, but yeah, 3 and 3 and Knuckles, those I would kind of consider easy, but also I've gotten pretty good at them over the years. And 3D blasts are super easy, generally. This is one of the good features that I really like, and this palette is not overly aggressive, I'd say. I kind of like the dark blue with light yellow, and you know, these are supposed to be like, you know, kind of the clean, good features, and you can see like every incorporation of nature alongside, you know, there's still mining, but it's not obliterating the environment behind it. I do appreciate that Sonic has sort of this environmental message in a lot of its aspects. This one especially. Anyway, I think this is a clever boss. But here we go. Let's give it a start. So in this one, I can't actually even hit Robotnik. Oops. Okay, that was me being bad at everything. But rather, you cause this. There we go. That's more into the pattern. This treadmill that I'm running on to run faster, and as you do that, his little chamber that he's on kind of gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and starts to melt from the bottom. And I thought that was a clever design. You know, the pinball boss from Collision Chaos, not great. Can be really rough. The first one's kind of super easy, like almost pitifully easy. The bumper walker guy. Alright, and my brain is failing me, but the water level, you know, I like that. I like the Tidal Tempest. There we go. Tidal Tempest's boss I felt was kind of clever with the way that that's designed. But yeah, this one's neat. Alright, here we go. Wacky Workbench. I will say this, Sebastian, going back to that, I do like the music in this quite a bit. I think the music's really, really good. And again, I like the gimmick a lot more as an adult than I did as a kid. But you've got all these platforms, you're kind of in this warehouse. And for those who haven't seen it, the ground here is flashing. I want to say electrocuted, but it's not really electrocuted in a way, maybe. You know, it doesn't hurt you. But all these platforms bounce off of it. And so do you. And hard. And, you know, I generally like the good futures in these. I'm not sure if I like the good future in this one. Which we may see in a little bit. But I do like the past quite a bit. Oh, here we go. Right into the future. Because it's sort of like a toy store motif. It's not bad per se. I'm not sure if I love their choice. Also, I do not like these little ice freezer things. Drive me nuts. Oh, okay, well, that was scary. And this is sort of an aggressive palette. Do like little sparrows flying around. But I do, like I said, I appreciate the floor idea a lot more now. I do also sort of like the electrical grid. I think that's a neat way to do the puzzle, you know, trying to figure out how to get through. And the overall look and sound are really good. Excepting the aggressive piece. Aggressive pink, once again. Do the peel out. Here we go. There we go. See if we can get into the past since we haven't been there yet here. There we go. For some reason it wasn't letting me jump out. This one's cool. Like, the factory that we see is now, you know, it's under construction here, and I kind of like the, you can see the hills in the background, like there's no ceiling to the area, so you can see like, oh, yeah. Oof. You can see like all like the beams and pillars under construction. It's cool. I like designs like this. This one I like a lot more than the Good Future design. Oh, no, no, no. I don't like that. Not having rings makes me scared. There we go. I think I definitely like the present day version the best aesthetically. Present day is, you know, I will say this. I think I like the past the most, but present day would be close second. This design's pretty awesome. Oh, why is it not letting me jump out of that? There we go. I promise I'm not... Okay, maybe I shouldn't make that promise. I was going to say, I'm not playing bad, chat, I promise. I really am having a kind of a weird time trying to get out of those, like it's eating my inputs, but maybe I'm just doing something wrong. Alright. Also, Propal, going back to your special stage thing, do we count Sonic Mania as part of this cluster of games? Because if we count Sonic Mania, I think those special stages are the hardest. I think those are harder than Sonic 2's. And I'm not sure that they necessarily are. They're harder for me. I appreciate that it's sort of a callback to Sonic 3D Blast's Saturn special stages. Boy, oh boy, do I stink at those. Are there bad future stages, you know, with Lavos? Yes, Lavos is actually the enemy here. It's a bait and switch. Much like the end of Star Fox Adventures, it's a bait and switch. You get to Robotnik, he grunts at you, and then suddenly you're fighting Lavos. Wasn't... honestly can't remember what Mania's special stages are, despite how much I like it. It's been too long. Yeah, so, see if I can describe them. Also, this is my favorite stage. I love the music, I love the design, and I actually really love the English... Sorry, again, keep doing that. I like the US soundtrack for this quite a bit, and I'm a little sad that we don't get to listen to that one. But this is sort of a callback to, oh, what is it? Starlight Zone in Sonic 1, and love that level, love this. And I especially love the past music, so I'm glad we get a chance to listen to this. Plus just the aesthetic of it. The darkened hills at twilight, the lights off in the distance. Close by we have like the water. We have like the bayfront and the like concert halls. Dude, love this aesthetic. The green, like kind of vines growing all over the place. This stage freaking is cool. The present's really great too, though. Like, I don't want to... This is just a fun stage. I really love it. And I kind of like the gimmick with the weird way that the walls kind of play out. Like, I'm not using the right words here, Chad. I apologize. The tracks here, the floor, the way that it curves and spins, and the way that you have to kind of navigate that, I think it's really well done. Okay, well that was done. There we go. And I also like how Sonic goes fast enough that he starts sparking as he runs in the stage. Okay, so going back for Palio, see if I can describe the special stages for Mania. They're 3D, and you need to chase down like this UFO or something, and you have to keep up with it, and the more blue spheres that you collect, the faster you go, and there's like 3 speed stages, and when you catch up to the little UFO, you get the emerald, and I hate it. It's hard. Also, dude, this music. Freaking love this music. It's so good. Fun fact too, if you let Sonic sit for long enough without moving on this, he just pieces out and leaves, and you lose a life. Alright, same here. I love the spotlights. I love the stars in the sky. I love just the sea of lights in the background. Such a cool level. Alright, well we've seen the... Let's go... We'll see it in the next part, but let's see if we can sneak into the future. No, we can't. I don't like the base of the stage here quite as much, but it's still cool as heck. There we go. Plus all the trumpets everywhere. I do like the US soundtrack for this is really good, I feel. Come on, let's see if we can go up. There we go. Okay, so this is a little bit of a maze. Let's see if I can do this without too much frustration. Look at that. Alright, we'll get to see the good future. I will say that bad future music in this is really good. It's actually probably one of my favorite tracks, and we will sadly not get a chance to listen to it. But the good features is pretty good too. I like the distant lights on the water here. I like the stars in the sky. Alright, so this is a really cool fight in a way, like, I feel like in theory, I am really bad at it. I'm really hoping, chat, that I don't suck at this horrendously, but this is one of those things that I have often lost so many lives trying to get through. I am not good at this fight, and I don't think there's anything I can ever do to get any better at it. Oh, come on. First death on it. No, not just yet. There's sort of a strategy to it that I can never quite execute properly because I can never remember where the spikes are. But if you can get Metal Sonic to kind of stay in his stage where he's not in his fireball, it's a little easier. But at a certain point you just have to get in front of him and stay in front of him, and this is that point. And that's the first time I've beaten it on the first try in a long time. That was not too bad. Cool. And here we go. We rescue Amy, and then she latches onto you with hearts in her eyes. You know, chat, I almost look like I'm not terrible at this game. Very Racing versus Johnny and Chrono Trigger in that way. It kind of is. Alright guys, we're on. Ooh, well, that was a good start to the level. We're on the final stage. This is one of the stages that actually makes a return in Mania too, so without giving away too much, we will be doing Mania on one of the 16-bit days, even though it's not technically a 16-bit game. That one will probably be split up, though. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get all the emeralds, just because, like I said, I'm quite bad at it, but we'll give it a try. Also really bad finding the special stages in Mania, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. I do like this music, though. Okay, first try, yeah. That was lucky. Go neck and neck with them and then get ahead at the very end. Yeah, so I've tried that, and again, that is a valid strategy. Every time I've tried, I always do really bad, and it's usually because Robotnik starts... I don't know if he actually is, or if it just feels like it, but it feels like he starts rubber banding towards the very end. There we go. And so if you do that, and you're not really careful, Robotnik will just come up and smack you. That's a one-hit kill. CD is just a Chrono Trigger mod. Yep, you found it. Worst Chrono Trigger mod? Oh, harsh. Oh, I love Chrono Trigger. This is gonna probably sound a little... I don't know. Petty's not the right word. Maybe petty's the right word, I don't know. I don't want to do... I would love to do Chrono Trigger. I love that game. It's a great RPG. It means a lot to me in terms of just like, all the memories from my childhood. I don't like the version that's on Steam. I would rather play either the SNES version to some capacity, or the, if there was a version that was I guess it's probably the PlayStation version actually, where it's more, I think, close to the Japanese dialogue, but still maintains the art aesthetic. The problem that I have with the one that's on Steam is it's, I believe, more or less the DS port, and I don't like that it's a slightly lower, like, resolution, I think, than the original, and it doesn't look as good. And admittedly, too, I know I just talked about the PlayStation version. I don't actually like the cutscenes, the fully animated cutscenes. I feel like they're kind of... I like Akira Toriyama. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z. I don't feel like they're as charming as the art style as it's presented in the original version of the game. Chrono Trigger playthrough when? Possibly never, unfortunately. What I would rather do is, if I ever... Oh, Mini Sonic, I love this. Or Chibi Sonic, I guess. If I were to ever do some 16-bit RPGs, if I got a capture device for my Switch, well, just an HDMI one, so I could hook up my Switch to it, I would love to go through Earthbound, in all honesty. I love, love, love Earthbound. Oh, come on, you silly thing. I actually really like Chibi Sonic. He's so cute. Look at this. He's a little spin dash. Got a little peel out. Isn't that adorable? I think they're neat, but the pixel animations are much more powerful. Cool to watch? Yeah, I think so. I'd agree with that. Fully animated cutscenes are almost a little underwhelming. Yeah, and I don't like... I don't know. I was probably, I could say, disappointed in them when I finally saw them. I was always really excited, because I remember, like, seeing that there was a OVA for Chrono Trigger, which is, like, if you haven't seen it, chat, you should check it out. It's really funny. It's like a couple of the monsters going through the Millennial Fair. It's a little bit of a trip. But like I was super excited about that when I was a kid when I found out that was a thing. I think that holds up. It's very silly. Oh, that was dumb. Why did I do that? But I don't feel like the cutscenes from the PlayStation hold up in the same way. They're cool, but the fact that they don't do much sound design really kind of takes away from them, yeah. Being too hard on my boy Toriyama. Yeah, I do like Toriyama, I do. Have some weird pacing or storyboarding was weird. They're off. Yeah. It's hard to explain for me too exactly why I'm not a huge fan of them, but also I just ruined it by getting the invincibility here, but the music on this stage is really cool, and I do like the future design for whatever. Metallic Madness took me a minute. Yeah, I like the little trees. I like how there's hanging baskets everywhere. But this music's pretty. This is a banger of a track, I'd say. Not sure if it was his call on the cutscenes or who was directing them. Could have been budget things or time limitations. See, I don't know if that would be, because, like, that was a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was a really big thing that I think Square put a lot of money into. But weirdly, I feel like it might not have been Toriyama who did it. I think it almost feels like it was someone using Toriyama's style, but it wasn't Toriyama himself. I could be really wrong about that, though. This guy's not supposed to be like a hard first part of the boss fight, but for whatever reason, he's giving me a rough time. Oh, we get to listen to this cool track, so I'm not going to complain too much. Oh, that was big dumb. There we go, there's one. A little closer, buddy. I think they harken back to that in Sonic Mania, if I remember correctly. I kind of like the final boss music here, but this final boss is a little bit of an underwhelming one. He's not super hard, but the music's good. Oh, that was kind of creepy. Oh, there we go. Maybe not exactly as intended, but we'll take it. I should have committed to it. I could have gotten him. There we go. The thing that really makes the flow of the cutscenes odd is you watch the action happen twice, once in the cutscene and once in pixel form, right after the other, which kind of breaks the flow. It really does. That was a weird thing. And, you know, I'm not the first person to say that. A lot of people have. In fact, I would argue I'm stealing their idea when I say this, but I've heard a lot of people say that some of the technical limitations from hardware back then was a positive because it sort of forced them to be innovative and work with what they had. And I feel like there's a lot more heart in the pixel animation as well. Having a big budget and all of the resources do not necessarily make a good, well done sort of scene or idea. So here we go. This is the good ending. I like Sonic Boom as a ending ending song better than this one, but I've definitely grown to appreciate the Japanese track a little bit more than I used to like it. So I think the first time I heard it, I was kind of like not sure what I thought.
In the end, who's on your side? Who can you trust? In the middle of the night. Where will you be? If you can't find you, there's no place to go. Nothing to do. If you gotta do something, you gotta do something. Believe in yourself. 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 Hey!
Hey! Oh, now the game audio is too loud. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. But I really like this one. I know a lot of people are kind of like I said, mixed feelings on this, but I love this one. It was a lot of fun and a good... Oh, let me get the mouse out of the way. Sorry, guys. Underappreciated gem. I especially love the time travel mechanic. I thought that was really good. So, anyway. Thanks for sticking around for this, everyone. I really appreciate it. It was a little bit longer stream than I normally do, but it felt like it'd be kind of silly to split this into two. It's not quite long enough to justify it. I think I prefer more of the English tracks to the Japanese ones, at least on this listen through. Yeah, that's fair. Like, I would, there's a YouTuber who I really like, Alex Yard, who does a lot of just in-depth looks at music and video games, and he tends to focus on the Sonic ones quite a bit, and I appreciate a lot of his thoughts on the Sonic CD, and he usually treats both the American track and the Japanese track fairly, I feel. So if I'd like to look at some of the some thoughts on someone who I feel like has some decent opinions and knows what they're talking about, because I certainly don't. Too cool. Well, thanks, game. Alex Yard is a kind of a cool guy to check out. And he's talked a lot about a lot of the Sonic CD tracks. I'm gonna shut up. There we go. I didn't want to talk over the cutscene too much. Alright. Cool. Alright, everyone. That's it for tonight. But yeah, next Saturday we'll be doing Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is a little bit longer, I think, so it's probably going to end up being 2 Saturdays. But we'll see. If I'm making good progress, maybe it'll just be 1. But as always, thank you so much for hanging around and watching me play through this. I really appreciate it. Like I said, Sonic CD, really love it. I feel it's a little underappreciated. Thanks for listening to me yammer about all the things I love about it and why I think it's the best game of all time. Not quite true, but probably sounded that way. As always, you guys, if you feel so inclined, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Blue Sky, like and subscribe on YouTube. Blue Sky and YouTube are in my About page, the links for those, so you can check those out. I try to put these VODs up relatively soon after doing it. I was a little slow putting up my Sims 1 play from Thursday, but it's up now. I'll put the second part up from Friday, probably sometime tomorrow evening, and I'll also try to do this tomorrow evening as well. Above all else, you guys are appreciated, and I hope you really enjoyed watching. So, have a wonderful night, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.